my lovelies. Welcome to another vlog. If you don't know me, my name is Heather and I'm from Lemon Tree Corner. So welcome to my corner of the world. Today we're going to be talking about projects that I have coming up. Not really New Year's resolutions, but just New Year's makes that I want to do, and then the next bag pattern that we're going to try. So I'll give you an update on all the projects I've been working on, as well as showing you how I assembly line cut things out. So let's get started. The first thing I want to share with you is right behind me, and I'll put a picture of it in the corner as well. This is a project I did quite a while ago as a New Year's resolution after my first business venture didn't work out so well. I was making aromatherapy products, trying it at the local craft fairs. I did pretty well, except I way overestimated the amount of product that I was going to be selling. And I made tons of these like linen sprays and scrubs, and really got stuck with a bunch of inventory that I had nowhere to sell. I tried selling things online, but really with the shelf life of the products really being about 6 months, and then just not knowing how they were going to do in shipping. The scrubs have oil. If something were to be damaged or broken in shipping, I had to wrap everything in plastic or put them all in Ziploc bags. And then there's the heat of the trucks. So it just didn't seem realistic to me to have that be an online business. One of the things that I was making were neck pillows to go around your neck, and you heat them up in the microwave. I'll get one and show it to you. But they were selling pretty well too, except to do that online, the shipping would have cost more than the actual product because they're heavy, they're filled with rice. So, wah, that didn't work out very well. And I had to go back to the drawing board, just knowing that I really wanted to make stuff and sell it. And so I went and got myself another full-time job, because I had taken a part-time freelance job in order to try out making and selling things. So when that didn't work out, I went back to a full-time job. Just really the healthcare, the benefits, just needing the stability of the full-time paycheck, and realizing that I didn't need to quit my job to do this job. That I have tons of time. I can do this on the side, especially getting it up and running. And at some point, I would like it to transition into a career, but I'm giving myself time to really build that. And so about 5 years ago, when that tanked, I made this little graphic, and it's all about the new Heather, the Heather who's going to try things. Some of the words on here are proactive, trying new things, she matters, let's go, entrepreneur. So, checking things off the list, goal-oriented, all of those things that I really wanted to see myself as in the future, especially being a business owner, really being held accountable, holding myself accountable for the dream, the work that I want to do, and putting that out into the universe and manifesting that for myself. And so fast forward about 5 years later, and here I am giving it another shot. It's never a failure, it's just a transition into something else. So I transitioned into sewing. I really liked picking out the fabrics for the neck pillows. This one's very St. Patrick's Day. This one's very St. Valentine's Day oriented, with love and hearts. And I just really had fun picking out fabrics and the combination and the sewing process. And I thought to myself, well, I really like seeing all the handmade products at these craft fairs that I was going to, and I was really drawn to the people who made totes and purses, and I always wound up buying one of them. So I figured, let's try that. Let's see if that works, because then I still get to pick out the fabric, put them in different combinations, and really play around with that. Plus, purses are lightweight until you fill them up with all your crap, and they're easier to ship, lighter to ship. Plus, they don't have a 6-month shelf life before they go bad. So I can make a ton of purses, put them in a airtight Tupperware container with some of those little silicone moisture grabbers. And they're really protected for a long time until I'm either ready to go to a craft fair or I want to sell them online. So I just figured that was a good venture to try as my next venture and put my time and effort towards that. And here I am 2 years later with a website and starting a YouTube channel all about my makes. It's really great to see that and to read some of these words here with the worthy, problem solver, thoughtful, taking chances. And that's really what this whole thing is about, is taking chances. And it's great to read all of those words and see myself as the new Heather, because I am the new Heather already. I'm already doing these things. So that's been really fun. One of the first things I did in the new year was chop off all my hair. Oh my gosh. I just took out my husband's clippers and went to town. Wow. It's super short. Didn't watch a YouTube video or anything. Just went for it. So that's where we're at. I kept this pretty long, just so I could do kind of the sideways sweep with it, so I don't feel like I'm totally bald. So that was a very interesting way to start the new year, and hair grows back. So I'm sure I'll like it a lot better when it's a little bit longer than this. Just didn't feel comfortable going to the hairstylist right now with everything surging. And not really sure I was going to get this dramatic of a haircut from what I don't seem to translate things very well to a hairstylist. So I never quite walk out with what I think I'm going to walk out of. Even when I bring in a picture, I bring in an actual picture of what I want my hair to look like. That's the experience I've had anyway. So we're getting started in this new year with some new projects. I'm finishing up my granny stripe blanket right now. Just don't know how long to make that, really. I wanted it to be a lap blanket. I based the size, the width of it off of a current lap blanket that's in my living room. Really just laying it across myself and seeing how high up do I want this to come. It's not really like a cold weather blanket. It's more of a spring-fall transitional blanket. Doesn't need to be super warm. It doesn't need to cover me completely. Just something to lay on top of myself when I'm watching TV. So I'm just getting to the point where I want to see what color stripe I want to end on. Maybe I'll just end on the blues just to make it a nice transition. I don't want to end on the super light color. I like the darker colors. So just playing around with that. Keep going until I finally get to the length or the color that I want to end on. One thing I started doing during lockdown was English paper piecing. I didn't think I realized in the beginning how much hand sewing was going to be involved in this, or I might not have chosen this as a craft project. I really enjoyed watching the Tula Pink English paper piecing series that was on the Fat Quarter Shop's YouTube channel. And she just made it sound really interesting and fun to do and easy. And she really detailed out exactly what supplies you needed to get and how to do it and the techniques that she uses. And I just found it fascinating, and another way to use all the scraps of fabric that I have. I found some patterns online with some acrylic templates that you can cut out. And also they have the papers now with the glue. So it seems a lot more approachable than in the old days where you had to cut all the paper pieces yourself and baste the fabric to the paper. So with the glue and the pre-cut pieces of paper, it just seemed a lot more reasonable of a project. I'll link that video down below so you can take a look at it if you're interested. So I started English paper piecing, I guess a few months into the pandemic, and it was something I would do when I took a break at work and I went outside to sit in the sun and just get some fresh air. And I'd sit on the patio and do a little bit of the English paper piecing. I really enjoyed picking out some kits to work on, picking out some fat quarter bundles to use as the fabric for those. Just the whole planning process for me is a lot more fun than the actual execution. So here I am. I'm on, I think, the third flower of the project. It's a table runner. Figured a table runner was more attainable than like a whole blanket kind of thing. So doing that, And here we have, did I finish that one? I think I did. So here we have this current flower that I'm working on. So I've still got 1, 2, 3 pieces to hand sew on before it's done. But that's a fun project that I've really gotten away from because it's been cold and I haven't really been sitting out on the patio. But now that it's getting warmer, I'm going to really consciously take time out of my work day to take breaks and go outside and work on this project. Because I think I have to make 10 of these total and I'm on number 3. So, gotta get going on that. And I keep it all in my nice little, I love these Joann's baskets. I can't get enough of them. I've got about 10 of the big ones and 1 or 2 of these smaller ones. Didn't even know what I was going to put in this when I bought it. It's got bees on it. I'm sold. So I keep all this stuff in here. The current stuff that I'm working on, I have my thread and my pieces and my cute little Tula Pink trimmers. And these wonderful things that she talked about in the video called Sew Tights. If you haven't used these before, they're just wonderful. They're little magnets and they get right up onto the edge of where you want to sew the 2 pieces together and hold them together. So those have been very helpful for me. Let me try and put all this back in my basket. So I just take my little basket outside and sit down and work on it. I've got another one of those same baskets up here that hold all of my fat quarters that I'm using for this project and the acrylic templates and all that stuff. So I'll show you a little bit of progress on that, and maybe I'll get to cutting out the pieces for the next flower. So we can do that together. I'll show you that. And let me get down the next project that I want to work on, which is behind me in my cute IKEA cubes behind me. Once again, a Joann's storage box full of stuff. So what I've been doing is looking for small pouch type projects that I can use my scraps up with. Because oftentimes when I make purses, I have a half a yard, quarter of a yard left. And they're perfectly paired together already. Just would make more sense to make more of a little pouch project to either complement the larger project or to be sold separately. So I've been keeping a few patterns that I really like to do that are smaller. This was the one I have a whole bunch of scraps ready to go for. It's the Metro Double Zip Pouch from So Sweetness. I love her patterns. They come with a step-by-step tutorial video when you buy her patterns. So they're really, really fun to make. This one is a little challenging to envision, which is why the video is so helpful. But it only takes a fat quarter of fabric for the interior and the exterior. So a really good way to use up all these scraps. I have all of these scraps left over from other projects that are in here. I think I've got about 9 or 10 of these ready to sew. So we're going to knock these out this week and I can practice some of my assembly line sewing, because it does go faster than making one whole bag at a time, is to take all of your bags. So I've got all of these different fabrics in here. I've already picked out the zippers to go with them and the hardware that I'm going to need to put all of these together. And I've got the pattern here. I've got the little pieces. So we're all ready to go. What I also do is I like to keep track. So I have a project page for these as well. I just put them all on one project page. So I know which fabric's going with which zipper and which hardware, all of that fun stuff. So that's the sewing project for the week. I think it'll be a lot faster to assembly line cut out all of these pieces. I can even stack them up and rotary cut them or cut them with the scissors. Cut 2 or 3 of the same pattern piece at a time, which is a lot faster than having to put the pattern piece down for each piece of fabric and cut it out and put the pins in and take the pins out. So I'm hoping this will go a lot faster, and I'll see you in a little bit. Let's get started.
seem to recall when it all began. It's almost like you were always near. You were always near. It's almost like we were always here. Can't seem to recall when it all began. It's almost like you were always near. Here in the stormy weather. So why do we hold on? Even if it hurts so, it's breaking us apart. I guess we'll never know how it feels to see the shoreline. We have to be together, stuck in the stormy weather.
Hello, emotions. Hello again. As every ocean come as rain. I know my circles. I know my name. Another sequel is on the way. Oh, oh, my love, reform and rise to be so free. In time we seize infinity. Growing love. Hello, my borders. Hello again. You're out of order. I'm out of pain. We're closing circles. We got no end. Another sequel about to land. Oh, my love, reform and rise to be so free. In time we seize infinity. Growing love. Hello, my heart beats. Hello again. Between the worries, we head for land. I will be fighting to hold the line. We're never hiding, we never lie. And I'll be coming home, and you'll be going strong. And I know there is a reason. Now we're ready to be whole. Yeah, ready to be whole.
stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love, love, love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love.
At night, aligns all the shady features in all our empty worlds. Behind the scene, they're picking up the pieces of all broken hearts. But I believe in coloring the world, gotta holler to be heard in time. We can fight back, ready to go right back to the sky, to the moon, making my skyline brand new. You, you get my heart in trouble. Make a beat, sing a tune, giving my life this whole groove. You, get my heart in trouble.
Hi friends, welcome back. As I alluded to earlier, best laid plans, the whole project with the Metro zip pouch did not go as planned. So this is as far as I got on one single bag. So the idea of cutting out all the bags at once was a good idea. I'm still going to do that in the next few weeks. But unfortunately, due to unforeseen issues, I wasn't able to do that. So the last 2 weeks at my day job have been super busy. We're getting ready for a new semester to start. I'm also waiting for my new admin assistant to come on board so I can get her up to speed and train her so that I have some help. So I've kind of been doing a lot of heavy lifting at work lately, which means that by the time I get home, I just want to put my feet up and zone out and watch TV. So I haven't been committing the time to do this project. The idea from the start was that I would watch the video again because the way this comes together, there's a front pocket which needs, you know, an interior and exterior, and then this other piece, and then the back. So it kind of comes together in a weird way because of the two pocket situation. So I wanted to watch the video and make one first so that I understood what was going on, so that I could pick the fabric combinations that I felt would work best, whether I wanted, which fabric I wanted in the pockets, in the outside. And as I was doing that, it became obvious that this was going to have to take a backseat. I'll put it aside for now, and I'll pick it up again in the next few weeks. It's one of those things that my fellow YouTuber Noelle would say is a compassionate deadline. You know, we're in the middle of the times that we're in, and even if we weren't, and the fact that I have a full-time job means that there's not a lot of flexibility with extra time to work on things. So when things become overwhelming, I just need to be compassionate with myself. And it's a deadline that was only in my head. It wasn't a real deadline. That's kind of the joy of having goods in the shop that are pre-made, is that I'm not taking things to order. I don't have a certain amount of time to sew something and rush it out to a customer. And that's really why I want to have a supply of bags that I put in the shop that I can sell that are ready to go. And as crafters, we just want to have a finished product. We like working on things, but really we're working towards an end goal, which isn't always the healthiest way to treat ourselves. We just need to be kind and know that just because it doesn't happen this week doesn't mean it's not going to happen next week. It's going to happen eventually. And when it does, I'll have the time to commit to it. I'll have the time to make them, and they'll be beautiful. And that's all I need to worry about. On another note, I wanted to show you all the glasses that I was talking about with the English paper piecing. My vision is shot, so I have to wear these magnifying glasses on top of my glasses, which means I can't just buy a pair of readers or magnifying glasses and put them on to do the English paper piecing. And I tend to just struggle through the English paper piecing and squinting and holding it up really close to my face, hoping that I'm somehow going to magically be able to see better. But I did buy this magnifying glass kit. It's very nerdy, looks very nerdy, but it's it has the glass arms, which I can't really wear it that way because I have to still wear my glasses in addition to this. But it does have a headband, so I'll show you how weird this looks. You feel like a jewelry maker or Geppetto or something. But it does have this arm that comes out, and then I can see all of my pieces. And I have my pieces for my next one that we all cut out together. So that would be what I would be sewing together. Would be like these pieces and putting them together like that. And I can see so much better through these. So why don't I wear these? It becomes a little uncomfortable after a while because there's these two nose pieces that kind of go really close in between my glasses. But it's still not really that bad. I'll link this. I bought it from Amazon. So I'll link that below for you if you're interested in doing it. It really helps with embroidery, English paper piecing, cross stitch. I imagine would be good. And it comes with 5. It comes with 5 different magnifying, what do you call that? Lenses. It comes with 5 different lenses at different magnifying levels. So that's a good project for that. So I've got all my English paper piecing pieces lined up here and ready to sew. And that's great. That way. So we finished our last one, and I should get that for you. Another thing that I bought that I thought would help is this handy tool. It goes around your neck, and you can turn the lights on. There's about 6 different settings if you want a warm light or a cold light, and the brightness changes, gets really bright. And I was hoping that these are, you can point these in different directions as well. So I was hoping that would help too with shining light on the pieces. I haven't really used it a lot, but that's just my own fault. I just need to get into the practice of sitting down with English paper piecing and doing this. This would be a really good project to do with my Audible books. I have a lot of them lined up, ready to read. Back when I had an hour-long commute, I used to listen to a lot of books on tape. I really enjoy listening to books on tape. The narrators are great, really animate the stories for me. And it just fills this void. I love reading, but I don't read books anymore. So the Audible really is wonderful for me. But I don't have that large of a commute anymore. For the last 2 years, I haven't had any commute, which has been great. We just transitioned back to campus full-time. So last week was my first week back full-time in the office. So that was part of the stress too, was just getting used to being there and doing all of that again. But I thankfully only live 5 minutes from campus. So it's still not enough of a commute to turn the book on, get into the book, and then you're in the parking lot. So I really only listen to Audible now when I'm doing the dishes or the laundry or some sort of task. I find listening to the books during sewing is very distracting. I either lose the story or I lose what I'm doing on the project. it's not very conducive for me to do both of those things at the same time. So I tend to listen to music when I'm sewing. But I really love to get back into Audible. I've got one book. It's taken me months to get through this book, and I'm still not done. And it's a very riveting book. So it shouldn't be that hard. I just need to make time to do that. And this would be the craft I think would be very easy to do that with. So we finished our previous one. So let me show you what I have so far for all of the flowers I've done so far. I worked it out that I think I need 10 or 11 of these for the table runner, and I have 3 completed in the last 2 years. This is taking me 2 years to make 3 of these, because I'm not really devoting the time it takes to make these. So here's the latest one, and I thought it looked off, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I've got more of a pinwheel effect here with the blues and whites, and I was like, I don't think that's how I really wanted it to be. And sure enough, I had messed up what I put next to each other. So this is really what it was supposed to be, is the 2 colors next to each other and these 2 colors next to each other. I'm not tearing that block apart. I do not want to tear all of that apart and do it over again. So this might be the block. One of the blocks has to be cut in half. It's basically a stripe of, let's see if I can piece these together for you. It's basically a stripe of interlocking ones. So you've got 5 and 5 like this, which means that at the end of each one, you've got this half left over. So this might be the one I cut in half, and I won't feel bad about cutting it in half because I was wondering how I was going to feel about that. And then here's the first block that I made there. So I think it's coming together nicely. It's just a matter of me committing to doing this. And it's hard to commit to doing this when I'm making bags and crocheting and everything else. And the bags have really taken top priority. I also do scrapbooking, so my scrapbooking is pretty far behind at this point because I just haven't really committed to doing that very often. What I do after I'm done with the block is I take out all the paper pieces of the parts that have already been completely sewn together on all edges. These ones are eventually going to be sewn with another block like that. So I have to keep all the paper pieces on these edges because I still have an edge to sew for each of these. But the middle ones you can take out afterwards. You can use those again if you would like. So that's coming along. 3 out of 11. Doesn't seem very good for 2 years, but like we were talking about before, progress is good. And there's no real deadline except for the one I put on myself. And I can cut myself some slack based on everything that's going on in the world. And I think if I had other things to do, if I can use these tools so that it's less of a chore to try and squint and sew these together, because I am getting older, and if I can find a way to incorporate the audiobooks while I do this, then I get 2 for 1, because then I'm catching up on my audiobooks. I'm enjoying books without feeling like I'm sacrificing time from something else. And I think that'll be a good way to go. So that's it for this week. We've got a lot coming up. Next week we'll get into more of the batch sewing, the batch cutting out of things, and hopefully get back into the swing of things. Although next week is the first week of school being in session, so I'm sure next week's going to be another crazy week for me. And just like to thank you all for being here and want to get to know you better. So what are you up to? How did you find my channel? Where in the world are you from? And what have you got going on? What do you want to hear about? Next episode I was going to talk about not working towards an end product, that the process of making things should be just as enjoyable for you as the end product. And I think a lot of times we just push and push and push, and we're not enjoying the actual process of making things. So we'll talk about that next week. And one of the best books I've found in a long time, The Crossroads Between, what is the name of it? I'll have to find it because we're going to talk about it next week. But Crossroads is in the title. I remember that part. And it's just about carving out little moments of time to work on what you're passionate about, whether that's your artwork or your crafts or your new business venture, and that you don't have to be devoted to that full time every day in order to achieve your goals, that you can do that bit by bit. And it might take longer, but it also means that you have the stability of whatever job you're doing right now, that you don't have to quit your day job to work on this thing that you're passionate about and that you love and that you'd like to transition into, that it can be a transition. So we'll talk about that next week, and I'll share that book with you. And just great to have you here. Great to make a second episode. The other reason why this is taking me so long is I was thinking, Premiere Pro, no problem. I'm going to learn that in about one day. That's the editing software that I have available to me to edit these videos. And that was a steeper learning curve than I was expecting. I've worked with a lot of Adobe programs, InDesign and Photoshop and Illustrator. So I feel like I have the know-how to work my way around a new program. And I was watching tutorials and how do you do this and how do you do that. And there's still a lot to learn. I just did the bare basics on the first video because I really wanted to get it out. So hopefully editing this video won't take as long now that I know most of the things I need to know to just workhorse get the video out, and then hoping to learn text animation and being able to do all the beautiful things that the YouTubers I watch do, because of course I wanted my first video to look just like their professional videos they've been doing for 5 years. We'll get there eventually, and hopefully you'll stick with me. I'm still filming on my phone camera, hoping to invest in some better equipment, a real vlogging camera, and up the quality of these videos. But thank you for sticking with me in the meantime, and we'll just grow this channel and see where it takes us. So have a great week, and see you next time. Bye.